All right, let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about something that's maybe not the sexiest part of winemaking, but I promise you it's the absolute foundation of every great bottle you've ever had. We're talking about cellar hygiene. It's the unsung hero of the winery. I mean, just look at that beautiful glass of wine. You can almost smell the aromas, taste those complex layers, right? But here's the crazy thing. The biggest threat to everything that went into making that wine, it's completely invisible. We're talking about a microscopic army of spoilage organisms just lurking, waiting for their chance to strike. And seriously, that is not an exaggeration. Think about it. A full year of hard work, everything from the vineyard to the crush pad can be completely undone by one tiny misplaced microbe. So, this isn't just about keeping things neat and tidy. This is about protecting your art, your investment, and frankly, it's about basic food safety. So, how do we fight this invisible enemy? Well, like any good fight, you need a strategy. And it all starts with understanding two key concepts that people often mix up: cleaning versus disinfecting. And trust me, they are not the same thing. Okay, here's the simplest way to think about it. Cleaning is all about getting rid of the dirt, the grime, the gunk, basically all the little hiding places where microbes can set up camp. Disinfection, on the other hand, is what you do after you've kicked them out of their hiding spots. It's the step that actually eliminates the microbes themselves. If you try to disinfect a dirty surface, well, you're pretty much just wasting your time and money. Cleaning always comes first. It's non-negotiable. And this right here, this is your 5-step battle plan. Think of it as your go-to recipe for pretty much every piece of gear in the cellar. You've got your pre-wash, your deep clean, a first rinse, then you disinfect, and finally, a second rinse. You nail this sequence every single time, and you're already halfway to victory. All right, so let's start assembling our arsenal. First up, we're going to focus on the cleaning part of the equation. These are the tools and products you'll use to tackle that physical dirt and grime we just talked about. So our main weapon for cleaning is going to be detergents. These are the real workhorses. They get in there and break down all that mess. But here's the thing. It's not just about grabbing any old soap. To be effective, you need the right detergent at the right concentration and often at the right temperature. It's kind of like a recipe. Get one part wrong and it just doesn't work as well. Now in the cellar, alkaline detergents are pretty much king. They have a high pH, which is just fantastic for breaking down all the greasy, organic stuff. How? Through a cool process called saponification, which is a fancy way of saying it turns fats and oils into soap so you can just wash them right away. You've got your heavy hitters like caustic soda for the really tough, crusty jobs. But here's a little pro tip for you. Trisodium phosphate is an absolute superstar for stainless steel. It works great and it's a heck of a lot easier to rinse off. Okay, this table looks a little sciencey, but it's super useful. It basically shows the special skills each of these detergents brings to the party. Take a look at trisodium phosphate, or Na3PO4. See that dispersant column? It gets a triple plus. What that means is it's amazing at lifting dirt up off the surface and making sure it stays floating in the water so it actually goes down the drain, instead of just re-sticking somewhere else. It's a really important job. So if alkaline detergents are your everyday workhorse, think of acid detergents as the special ops team. You call them in for a very specific mission, getting rid of mineral buildup. We're talking about those hard, crusty deposits, the tartrate crystals or whinstone that can build up inside your tanks and barrels. Your regular alkaline cleaner, it just can't touch that stuff. And rounding out our cleaning kit, we have surfactants. This is a fun one. Their job is to basically make water, well, wetter. It sounds weird, but they break down the water's surface tension, which lets your cleaning solution get into all the tiny nooks and crannies and wiggle its way underneath the dirt. The crowbar analogy is perfect. It's like a chemical crowbar that pries that gunk right off the surface. So now our surfaces are officially clean. But hold on, the job is not done, not even close. Just because a surface looks clean doesn't mean it's safe. The microbes are still there, just exposed. So that brings us to phase 2. Disinfection. Now we bring out the big guns, the weapons designed to actually eliminate the threat. So what's in our disinfection arsenal? Well, you've got a few choices. There are quats, which are good broad-spectrum killers. Peracetic acid is a really popular one. It's super effective and breaks down into harmless stuff, so it's great for equipment. Of course, you have good old sulfur dioxide, the classic choice for barrels. And then
There's chlorine. Now look, it's a powerful disinfectant, but it's a massive, massive risk in a winery. Why? Because it can create something called TCA, and that's the chemical responsible for that dreaded, musty, wet cardboard, corked smell in wine. Honestly, it's a gamble that almost no winemaker is willing to take anymore.
But what if I told you there's a modern super weapon? Something with incredible power that leaves behind zero harmful residues and can be used for almost anything? Well, there is. Let's talk about ozone. So how do you even make this stuff? It sounds like something out of science fiction, but you basically take regular oxygen, O2, and you zap it with a massive jolt of electricity. We're talking up to 20,000 volts. That electrical charge forces the oxygen molecules to regroup into O3, which is the super unstable, highly reactive molecule we call ozone. It's like supercharged oxygen. And the benefits? They're pretty incredible. Ozone is such a powerful oxidizer that it just obliterates everything. Bacteria, viruses, mold, you name it, it works super fast. And maybe the best part of all, when it's done with its job, it just reverts back to plain old oxygen. That's it. No nasty chemical residues, you use less water. I mean, it's powerful, it's safe, and it's good for the environment. What's not to love? And just look at how versatile it is. You can use it for disinfecting barrels to fight off that pesky Brettanomyces. You can use it on tanks, bottles, and tools. You can even use it to disinfect corks, wash your grapes before crush, and even treat your wastewater. It is truly the Swiss Army knife of sanitation for modern winery. Okay, we've gone through a lot of powerful chemicals, so now I need you to really listen up, because this is probably the single most important part of our entire conversation. We have to talk about safety, because mixing these things up isn't just a waste of time, it can be genuinely dangerous. I mean, think about it. We're playing with strong acids, powerful bases, and intense oxidizers. So the million-dollar question is, what happens when these chemicals meet each other? Okay, this chart is not a friendly suggestion. This is a must-know safety guide. Best case scenario, if you mix the wrong things, you just neutralize them and waste your money. But the worst case scenario is really bad. Look at chlorine and acid. You mix those, you're not just making your cleaner useless, you could be creating toxic chlorine gas. That's stuff you absolutely cannot breathe. So the rule is simple. Read every single label every single time. And never, ever play chemist and mix things unless the instructions specifically tell you to. So we've gone through the whole arsenal. The cleaners, the disinfectants, the super weapons, and the critical safety rules. What does this all boil down to? What's the one big takeaway here? It's really this. A systematic, knowledgeable approach to hygiene is the bedrock of great winemaking. It's not just the cleanup job you do at the end of the night. It's a fundamental, non-negotiable part of the craft itself. It's the silent partner in every great bottle of wine. When you master this, you're not just ensuring your wine is safe. You're giving yourself a perfect, clean canvas to create on. So once your cellar is spotless and your wine is protected, the real question is, what masterpiece are you going to create next? What's the next frontier on your winemaking journey?